Australia is now Auschwitz, Canada, a concentration camp. New Nazis use needles. COVID is the new communism. Fauci, Mengelev, reborn. Biden, Himmler. Today's Nazis hide in the black ops bureaucratic bowels of DARPA and BARDA. Bombs and gas have been placed with geoengineered gain of function mitochondrial manipulation and slaughterbot swarms. To distract the dull and bluff the brainwashed, pusillanimous pundits promote endless variants and eternal jabs. But while paid-off politicians and manipulated mayors simper and scrape to their global elite slave masters, Americans are rising, refusing, resisting, and rebelling. And with us, the people of Australia and Canada, France and England, Taiwan and Iran, Africa and Afghanistan. But with one difference. We are armed. Personal liberty is ensured with personal weaponry. Tribes defended their lands with fire sticks. Slaves rebelled with rifles. Pioneers gained ground with guns. If you are unarmed, arm. If you are armed, train. Competition is not combat. Learn the L. Be able to bound. As always, this too will go kinetic. And when it does, it's too late to learn tactics and team up. I'm a retired soldier, special agent, spy, turned whistleblower, warrior. Served and sabotaged, rejected and redeemed, failed and forgiven, betrayed and saved, rejecting revenge, humbled and blessed, repurposed in redemption. As chaplain, leader, teacher, and truth teller. Now your intelligence officer, following God, leading my family, and any that choose to join on our long walk to faith and freedom. Welcome. I'm Jeff Prather, and this is the Prather Point. Welcome, everybody. Happy to be with you today. Lots to cover. Before I get to that, I do still have some of my books in. If you're looking for a set of Initiation, Boys Are Born, Men Are Trained, My Journey with an Apache Medicine Man, and Chase Terror on the Border, Fact-Based Fiction by a former DEA agent, you can get those by going to help@jeffreyprather.com, help@jeffreyprather.com. And those sets signed are $57, and I've still got a couple sets left. They're always on Amazon and in the shop, but these I have. I was asked to get a couple sets there. As you can see there, you can join me tonight on Ask the Expert on American Media Periscope at 8:30 p.m. at ampinsider.us/home. Ask the Expert. I'll be online to answer your questions and looking forward to that. You can also get a copy of my HMAC Handgun Martial Arts Manual of Arms in jeffreyprather.com/shop. Got some new mugs, Parents versus Pedos, and t-shirts up there as well. Check that out. You can sign up for free updates at jeffreyprather.com and new intel report coming out on locals at jeffreyprather.locals.com as well. Responding to a couple remarks on Rumble, which is a now new popular segment, breaking from the Why Eggs, Where Food, and What Dead. Cindy said Animal Farm was a good read, much better than 1984. We the Living, Ayn Rand, another good read. Thank you, Jeffrey Prather. Good job. Yeah, good books. Ayn Rand was an atheist. Got the problem with that. 1984, Animal Farm, great reads. But get your kids and grandkids to read these books. Get them literate. What I found out from a lot of my students in the dojo is they wouldn't read my book because they couldn't read. And these were public school kids whose teachers were parents who were public school teachers. Can't talk today. But they are really illiterate. That's what public schools are producing now. Good little illiterate slaves, because of course slaves were not allowed to read, not allowed to possess firearms, because both of those are very empowering. Mary A.G. on Whistleblowers versus WEF Wars comments, find and fire SCIF, which is Special Compartmented Information Facility managers involved in the classified docs debate as well. Fire any and all senior and junior non-coms and Pentagon wieners involved in the balloon PSYOP. Gone, no pay allowances or retirement, give them back their portion of their TSP, or initiate a tribunal for treason. So she's obviously a veteran. She's using insider terms there. But you don't have your head in the fight. Who do you expect to fire them? They have been interdicted. You've got to get your head in the fight and understand what is going on. We have been espionaged through infiltration and sabotaged through interdiction of our legal systems and our voting systems. So if you're still watching Bannon get excited, I got a chance to see Bannon today. I'm actually going to be at an event where he's speaking. I'm not speaking, he's speaking, but he was all excited about the House oversight of intelligence of Twitter now. And I'm just sorry that people still don't get this. And if you think that is going to change anything, you just don't have your head in the fight. So remember, Bannon crowed about the red wave as well. And I warned about the red wave. Twitter is an intelligence unit. It's storefronted as social media. And the House Oversight Committee is not what you think it is. It's not about oversight. It's a subdivision of the larger corporation, privately known as the RNC. Internally, it references the GOP, Grand Old Party, which they'll never say. But the House Oversight Committee exists to protect the DC insider system when someone screws up and something corrupt becomes public. All you got to do is look at stuff from my day, Fast and Furious, the IRS scandal, the CIA scandals. Nothing happens. It's to raise money for the party in control of the chair, pointing out corruption, fake, false narrative. The right wing and the left wing are wings of the same albatross bird. Real rescue is going to come from the new class of real warriors of an old and noble lineage. Corrupted republics will be overwhelmed the same way Rome's was. Like Canadian Arthur Pawlowski. Pastor Pawlowski's been on the show. He was on Laura Ingraham last night. I'm not allowed on Laura Ingraham anymore, so good for him. And he's facing jail time and trial for tossing out health officials and armed police and keeping his church open during the peak hours of COVID-19 and calling them Nazis before we were even aware of that through his great discernment. And also Canadian high school student Josh Alexander followed in the ranks of Rittenhouse and Sandman. Alexander protested his Catholic school, St. Joseph's. I'm not a St. Joseph's orphanage. Last year, allowing gender-confused males to use girls' bathrooms and was then suspended. He said the entire class was dismissed while the staff handled the situation. Shortly after Ontario Provincial Police arrived, asked me to leave. I respectfully declined. They arrested me. Josh's attorney, James Kitchen, the chief litigator for the Liberty Coalition Canada, said Alexander's decision to go back to school today was an intelligent choice of a young man who knows what he's doing. His head's in the fight. He understands what he is doing, just like the early Christians did. Desmond Doss would be proud. But so would Audie Murphy. Remember recently that Elijah Dickens dropped a mall shooter named Cyperman within about 15 seconds of entering and firing from a 40-foot distance, hitting him with 8 times. That's good shooting by anyone's standard. And the police chief had said many more people would have died that night if not for a responsible armed citizen who took action within the first 2 minutes of the shooting. Nothing short of heroic. Talked about this before. Echoing those words have invited him on the show. Just like I've invited Rittenhouse and Sandman, but I guess I'm not cool enough and big enough for those young warriors. Too bad. Maybe I will be someday. But Dickens' attorney said Monday he was proud to serve his client, calling him a true American hero. Wow. And so attorneys that are actually serving and proud to serve. So while corrupted CIA blow up pipelines with our military and our military MRA mass murders us and Antifa assassinates, a new generation of protectors is emerging, forged in the crucible of our falling civilization. They follow in the footsteps of St. Martin de Tours, the first chaplain. Chaplain comes from the word capella, when St. Martin de Tours, a Roman Christian cavalryman, slit his cape and gave half of it to a cold beggar. And he refused to kill, but volunteered to fight, to go into combat unarmed, just like Desmond Doss. This was the revolutionary strategy of early Christianity. Again, check out the book, Early Strategies in Revolutionary Christianity by Dan Abbott. Great read. Inspired by the genius of Jesus, empowered by the set-apart spirit, endorsed by Yahweh, discerned by the few, and delivered by the martyrs. That is where things will really happen, not in the political playfield of pedos and pimps and pushers in Washington, D.C., getting excited about a fake play that is going on. There's nothing new about that. And so I had mentioned that before, that after the ridiculous Biden state of disunion, Huckabee Sanders came on and said, this is normal versus crazy. She does not have her head in the fight. She doesn't know what's going on. This is nothing about this is crazy. This is engineered evil. This is mechanized, manufactured, methodical malice. It is very clear, and you can see the signs of it. Any real intelligence officer, any real special agent, investigator, 1811 can see that. But she's either foolish or part of it. Irrelevant either way to really what's happening. And again, this is where Biden falls down multiple times walking up the stairs of Air Force One, but can then all of a sudden talk to the reporters while walking backwards. No, this is a dangle. This is a distraction. And if you look at the Biden face at the state of disunion there, it looks like he's got a mask on. The forehead, there's something wrong with that. Hysterical Harris looks like she's got a mask on at the neckline as well. People were commenting different earlobes. Sometimes they're attached, sometimes they're not. Different eye colors, different hairlines. But the dumbed down don't notice any of that because they are so dumbed down and drugged up. So that is a show play, and nothing really is going to change there. Martyrdom will change that, and kineticism will change that, and both of those will happen. And that's the example of Josh and Sandman and Pastor Arthur Pokowalski, all of those as well. But the FBI, which is the outer-facing front of the intelligence community, which is really the fourth branch of government, which is really running the government, it's taken over the government, is now going after what they are now calling radical traditional Catholics by recruiting sources within the Catholic Church. So this is exactly what the FBI does. They recruit, infiltrate, and then they create cases and they run them. That's exactly what they did with all of the Muslim terrorist cases. Recruit some hapless, disenchanted American Muslim, give him fake explosives, give him a target, set him up, and then arrest him and say, look, we're doing counterterrorism, because big cases, big problems, little cases, little problems, no cases, no problems. And so you just manage the whole procedure so you know how it will come out. Just like the DOD and the fake government will manage the war in Ukraine. They won't go into real war, because real cases, you don't know how they'll turn out. Real war, you don't know how they'll turn out. The enemy has a vote. They are managing this. And so now they're coming after Catholic Christians. Of course, the surviving remnant of Christianity after the various factions were killed off and eliminated, with the Nicene Council deciding this is what Christianity is going to be. This is who's going to be allowed to be in the New Testament, because stuff didn't make the cut. For example, the Didache didn't make the cut. And this was by Constantine, who declared himself the Messiah as well. The Catholic Church, based off of the Old Testament, and the rabbis were the Pharisees, and that's what in Matthew, Yeshua rebukes them for changing the Torah law into rabbinical Talmud. That's very true. And so that's what I found when I married my wife, who is now Christian but was raised Jewish. And I saw this great, profound religion, but it was banal and trivial. Well, it was all rabbinical, Talmudic stuff. It wasn't Torah law. It had already been changed. Catholic Church further changes that, and then the Protestants further change that, and a copy of a copy of a copy gets worse as well. But the FBI is going after a certain aspect of Catholics, and that is radical traditional Catholics, or they like abbreviations RTC, or Romeo Tango Charlies, I guess the ex-Marine FBI guys will be saying. And they're saying that these are white extremists because they like the Latin mask, like Mel Gibson, like that dastardly Mel Gibson. And again, Catholic Church has done a lot of good things. For example, gave me a place, product of rape, put in an orphanage, adopted by a Catholic mom, Baptist dad, went to Catholic grade school, Catholic high school, not Catholic now, but appreciate the institutions. Best thing to come out of Catholicism in the last century is Mother Teresa, her good work. She wasn't a child trafficker, for those of you who just can't see any good in anybody. But the reason for this is diabolical and dastardly, and that is because what do the Catholics really focus on? Well, right to life, that abortion is evil, better than anybody else. Jews and Protestants, hey, pay attention to the Catholics and try and get your head in the fight. The worst Holocaust that has ever happened is the Holocaust of the unborn. The Catholics are way ahead in that game. And they want to sort those guys out and turn folks against them, turn elements in the Catholic Church against them, turn Protestants against them. And of course, until so-called Catholic Biden was so-called president, the only Catholic president before that was Kennedy. And the reason for that is Americans don't like Catholics because they have this King, Pope, Caesar in Europe, in Rome. So they don't like that at all. But this is another diabolical dastard scheme so that the FBI can ensure their child trafficking organizations. Harry the Greek was thrown off of Patreon a while back because he was calling out Strzok for his child trafficking. Going to get off Yankee Tango here.